The Smiley J Artist Zone, a platform for and about independent artists. Music, interviews, and much, much more. Now, give it up. Your host, Smiley J.
Welcome to the Smiley J Artist Zone, a platform dedicated to independent music creators of the world. And I am your show host, Smiley J. And I want to welcome all of you today. Yes, I want to shout out all of my dedicated artist zoners. Yes, all of you guys in the U.S. and abroad alike. Just know that I appreciate you guys for hanging out with me. And if this is your first time, welcome first timer. I hope that you come back and hang out with me again. And I'll tell a couple of friends about the Smiley J Artist Zone show. Yes, please and thank you. And, as I mentioned in the intro, this platform is dedicated to independent music creators, yes, whose music that you may not necessarily hear on your local radio station, but just know that these artists that's here on this show, they are creating some really, really dope music that, you will want to have in your playlist, yes. Now, let me just give you the big picture. Being an independent artist, it allows you to have like total creative control and freedom over your music. Yes, that's beautiful, without a record label. Now just know that, being an independent artist is a wonderful thing, but it does come with some challenges and difficulties. I mean, there's a lot that I could talk about, but one of the most notable challenge is funding, yes. Because the artist is the record label. So they have a lot of out-of-pocket expenses. Now, these artists have the creativity, passion, and dedication, but let's keep it real. Money is a factor, yes. So I say to you guys that we all love music, right? So when you hear an artist on this show and you dig their music, go ahead and download the music and, add it to your playlist and follow them on social media. And also, listen, attend their live performance whenever they're in your city or town. That is the absolutely best way to support an independent artist. Now, okay, alrighty, enough of my preaching. Today I have a great show for you. I have a returning guest, yes. Because, sometimes I like to follow up with my guests and see what's happening in their music world. And today's guest is one of those folks that I kind of keep my eye on because I like what he's doing. And he has been very busy since he was last here on the show. So he's going to come and join us in a few short minutes. But before I bring him on, I just want to tell you a little bit about him in case you missed his first interview. His name is Terence Thompson. And he is a versatile producer, songwriter, artist, and musician who is very passionate about his music. Plus, he's a really cool guy. So I want you guys to help me welcome Mr. Terence Thompson. Hey, welcome back to the Smiley J Artist Zone. How are you today, sir?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's so good to have you back.
I appreciate you having me back. It's been, over a year now, right?
Yes. And you know what? A lot has happened since your first solo project, If I Only Had a Band.
Yeah. I appreciate all the love and support that you showed me on that first project. Thank you.
Absolutely. I mean, it's good stuff. Now, you obviously have been very busy.
Yeah. I you know how you have people that say they're gym rats and they stay in the gym. I am definitely a studio guy. I'm a studio rat. Let me just say that.
And let me just say this: we appreciate you too. All the Terence Thompson fans, we appreciate you being a studio rat. Now, this, by the way, happy belated birthday.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I really do appreciate that. Anytime you can see another day is a blessing, but of course, you get to see a whole nother year. That's always a milestone, So
absolutely. Now, Terence, the last time you were here, we always have a great time chatting it up with you. But do you remember me telling you that you were going to be a household name?
I do remember that.
You do?
Yeah. That because it was it was something that really was very impactful to me, because, I do music, because I love doing it, and so, yeah, it really resonated with me, but I do remember that.
Yes. I mean, since like 1 year later, like you have like massive download streams. Congratulations to you on all of that.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. It's just been a blessing. And, it just seems to be like a slow burn, but it's continually to grow. And it is a beautiful thing, just to see people appreciate, what you do and then how they discover that you have so much more music. I think probably for me, when people do, discover, me or discover what I do, the fact that they'll see that I have so much music put out within a short period of time,
Right, exactly. And that's just so genius. And, in between all that I do, I swear, Terrence, I try to keep up with you.
Well, but hey.
But look, I get so confused, which is actually the title track of one of your songs.
Yes. But here's the thing I'll say though, because we have built such a great friendship, outside of, the platform and social media. Another reason why you might get confused is because I do send you a lot of the music while
I know it
production. So,
listen, I so appreciate that. And I feel so honored because when I see something from you, I'm like, ooh, what's it going to be? It's like a little kid open up a present. I'm like, oh, what's it going to be? So like, okay, so help me out. Like, you dropped some music August 18th. You got like 3 singles, like I Need You, which by the way is a smooth, sexy tune.
Thank you.
And then what? No Bees and Heart Exam.
Heart Exam, yep. No Bees and Heart Exam. Yeah. 3 there that I just put out. And, each piece is just, it's just a representation of where I am at that moment, what I'm doing and how I'm feeling. But then I have all of this other, I don't want to say incredible. I just want to say I have all this other music that's about to drop. I am going to release a full-length project, under this kind of all love experience with, the guys that I work with. We have, that's probably going to be maybe about 10 or 12 songs on that project. And then I have some songs that I'm working with some extremely dope artists with, male artists, female artists, that I'm working with in the DMV area that I'm looking forward to dropping that stuff with. And I'm about to drop I think it's a little fun single called Supernova, which is my...
Oh, yes. I got a little I got a little preview of it.
Yeah. So Supernova is my another homage to Queens, and just another way to just try to lift up women, however I can,
And you know what? And we appreciate it, given the climate that we're in. That's not always happening in these music streets. So thank you, sir, for being conscious.
Yeah. I'm just a grown man doing what grown men do,
Boom, there it is. Shout out to all my grown men musicians.
Right. I mean, because we have to be responsible with our words and with our actions, and I'm really just about respect in every aspect of my life, so, always got to respect. Not saying that I do everything right and I'm perfect, but I try to make it a point to be respectful and lift people up however I can,
Well, you know what? We appreciate the good music vibrations. So
yeah, no, I love being able to get the feedback and for it to flow. And I just count myself blessed, that I'm in a great space in life that, I can create. And then I have a great team of musicians that I work with that, just make my life so much easier as a producer, as an artist, as a writer, whatever,
Well, you know what? Speaking of your folks, your musicians, you work with some amazing, talented folks, both musicians and vocalists alike. But it looks like that you're working with some new musicians, some new folks.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Yes.
I saw you got Hank? Is it Hank Bilal?
Listen. That's
wait a minute.
That's my dude. Yeah, I heard. See, the thing about me is like when I hear a song or I hear an artist and I'm moved, I'll reach out to them. There are plenty of artists that I've reached out to. Some have responded, some have not. But, you know, I think it's Desires by Hank Bilal, and I was like, yo, I got to hit this guy up. And then it just so happens that one of my guys, Thad, knows Hank, and then he kind of connected us. And
nice.
Yeah. So Hank was on No Bees. That was the first one we did. And then I was like, you know what? I would love to have him on Supernova. And, I think he did his thing on Supernova. He has a wicked solo on it, and, you know, just brought a nice vibe to the whole track. I mean, he really carried the track, you know, and that's what I love about guys like him. So yeah, I'm just being very, very fortunate. Always keeping my eyes and ears open. There's another guy that's not too far from me in the DMV, Curtis McCain. Dope percussionist. Like,
oh, okay.
Dope. Yeah, he's killing No Bees. The percussions on No Bees is all Curtis McCain.
Curtis McCain, okay.
Yeah.
I love that instrument too. So
yeah. He's very creative. I mean, this guy he goes all in every time. He's on Uncle Anthony's Cookout. He's on Too Soon. He's on a lot of tracks that I did. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Love it. Now, you know, you kind of answered my next question. Like, you know, during your creative process, I mean, do you have like certain musicians in mind? Like, I want Curtis in on the percussion. I want Hank in. What does that process look like in your musical head?
Now, it's all organic for me. I just kind of vibe. You know, everything is a vibe for me. If wherever that vibe will take me, you know, that feeling, it's like, you know, I'll do some tracks and I'll be like, okay, you know, yeah, we definitely got to have live percussion. So we got to have Curtis, or we have to have, there's some element. Now, there's my core group that I use on everything. There's, you know, it's going to be God willing, it's always going to be Michael Hudson on keys, electric piano, Bobby Ramone on bass, Jean Caz on, you know, trumpet or flugelhorn when he's not touring. So that's kind of my core. And then Marcus Parker on drums. But, you know, I definitely incorporate other musicians, you know, whenever I can. And, you know, just depending upon the song itself.
Now, I want to say to my listeners, really to all of my listeners, now, if you guys are as inquisitive as I am, you may want to check out Terrence his podcast, because he kind of, you know, gives you the stories behind each song. So can you just tell us about your podcast real quick?
I really appreciate you mentioning that. Thank you. And I definitely want to say I'm going to get back to that podcast when things kind of stabilize for me. But yeah, essentially the podcast is kind of a behind the scenes, you know, regarding the music. All of the singles that were released in 2021. Also, my album, I kind of talk about, you know, each song and, you know, I guess maybe the inspiration or any points that I think that are kind of tie all the dots together. But it was fun, and I enjoy sharing that. And, you know, and it's not, I don't do it because it is, you know, self-indulgent. I just do it because I know that there are people like myself that really kind of appreciate being able to know more about, you know, the musicians and producers and artists that they listen to, you know?
And you know, and as fans, we enjoy that process. So thank you for inviting folks into that whole creative process.
No, thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, you know, I enjoy sharing, you know, anything that I can. And for me, you know, I can tell you one of my biggest wow moments was like the first time I was in the studio with Teddy Riley, like watching this guy work. And I was just like, you know, I mean, this was really, I'm sure it's probably the equivalent of any kid that plays basketball, you know, stepping on the court with Jordan.
Yes.
I mean? Like I was in the studio with this guy, like, wow, like this is the guy that everyone at that time aspired to be, you know.
Wait, you guys are from like the same area, right?
Well, I'm from Virginia. I'm from, you know, the Tidewater area. And of course, you know, he moved there from Harlem or New York, you know, some years ago when that whole wave, when everyone was coming to Virginia because we had, you know, everything was just, it was the perfect spot. Everything was popping. You know, you had Timbaland, Missy, you know, Magoo, Neptunes, Pharrell,
Yes,
you know, everybody,
yes.
D'Angelo, a little up, further up. I mean,
Richmond,
yes.
But you know what? It's good music and it's timeless, and we're still listening to all of that music.
Right. That's real music. And it really set the bar and had a major influence on a lot of things that we hear now still.
Yes, indeed. Now, I know as a producer that you like you hear music differently, right?
Yeah, I think I do.
So, you know, the reason why I say that because you mentioned something that I thought was really good use for advice. And because I have a lot of independent artists that listen to the show. So you mentioned that it's like important to find your own voice as a music creator and not to sound like everyone else. Can you talk about that a little bit as a producer?
Wow, listen,
and a musician.
Yes, and
a singer.
Yeah, listen. So you really went there for me because I, you know, probably a couple of months ago, more than a few months ago, you know, I contracted COVID. Everyone in my household contracted COVID. And, you know, I've been trying to work on my voice a lot, just trying to get it better. I am. So this is what I would say. I do not classify myself as a singer. I am what's known as, I would say I'm a stylist. I am a person that, you know, I can write a song, I can produce it, I can sing it, I can deliver it. Now, there are some songs that I've written that I would prefer to give to real singers, you know what I mean? Legitimate singers. But, you know, but finding your voice, finding your sound, finding your space is super critical because too many times I think artists, you know, or producers or whatever, they want to sound like everyone else. They want to sound like what's hot. And, you know, it becomes just lost out there in this heavy, oversaturated market of everyone doing the same thing. And if you ever look at artists that seem to pop out and to be bigger than everyone else, they always had their own thing, you know?
And you know what? And I can appreciate that. I mean, as a music aficionado, I typically don't want to hear something that sounds like everyone else because you lost me. I'm not even going to listen to it. I like that different, unique sound, that artist that found their uniqueness.
Right. And this is the thing, like I'll say one artist that I'm really big into, like I think is super dope. And I don't mean this in any disrespectful way, you know, and his vocals can be a little shaky at times. It's someone like Jose James, who's phenomenal.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Oh, like that's a really good example. Yes.
Phenomenal.
Yes.
But I think a lot of times, here's the other thing is that, you know, it goes so much deeper because, you know, you have just because someone doesn't, you know, they can't sing as well. Let me say this. There are singers, there are artists, and there are entertainers. You know what I mean? And sometimes you may find one that could do all of them. You know what I mean? Like a Michael Jackson, who obviously could sing, you know, was an entertainer and was the ultimate artist. You know, but then you have, you know, those that can't do them all, but they do well at what they do. But I think a lot of times we put too much pressure on ourselves to compete with our peers, and it's like, you know, I don't like when anyone ever says to me, "Hey, you got that Robert Glasper feel." I'm like, "Are you crazy? Man, you can't compare me to Robert Glasper. That dude is in a whole different stratosphere, and I'm great at doing Terry Thompson. You know what I mean? I'm great at doing me, and this dude is like, you have people that set the standard, you know." And that's a different thing because for me, music is something that I do. It's not my life. I could stop making records today and I'm good, you know?
You know, I have to say, because I listen to a lot of your music and I'm fortunate because I get to hear little snippets from the process. And I'm like always excited when I receive something from you because I know it's going to be something different, something fresh, something timeless.
I appreciate that. It is always different, I would say for sure, because going back to one of your questions, I think it was early on about what the process was like for me. There really isn't a process. Like, and I'm like you because we love so many different types of music. I mean, you may hear a hip hop drop in a jazz cut, and that's kind of like if you listen to Heart Exam. I mean, how many straight ahead records do you kind of hear like that? Then you got some, a tag in the beginning of the track. I mean,
not many,
right? Or at the end, somebody's talking and then it's in a different language. But all of that's just basically me saying, look, I do my music the way I do it, and I don't care what people, I don't care what other musicians or other producers may think about it. I don't care about that, because this is me. This is my way of doing it, And
I absolutely love it. You're doing you the way you know how to do you, unapologetically. I love it.
Right, because I'm. This is the best version of me. Is me doing me, and we all have these things that we push for. There are a lot of people that want to be the best. They want to be the best. But that's is subjective and it's debatable. I want to be the best version of myself and give it all every time creatively, because I don't believe in just doing a track and just throwing it out. There's plenty of tracks that I've done and I'm like, oh my God, I can't. No, I'm not feeling this. I will never share this with anyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's real. Yeah. Yeah. So I guess I have to ask you this, because I'm a fan too. So I'm interviewing you, but I'm speaking from a fan as well. So when can your fans expect to see you perform all of this great music live?
You know what? That's a great question, and I'm glad you asked that. So for me, it's kind of two different things, two different worlds, and two different ways I approach it. So for one, and a lot of people may not know this, but I'm an executive. I have an executive level job by day, and I've had it for 20 plus years. It's something that I do. I do the music as, that's my passion. That's my love. And I haven't had the demand yet, or I haven't been placed in a situation yet that, I feel as though, okay, let me deviate from my livelihood, you know what I mean? My real livelihood to go and do the thing, live. I ultimately want to do it, but one, hopefully the demand has to be there. The other part is that I had so much music coming out of me that I knew once I said, okay, let me start focusing on getting ready to gig live, that I was going to have to stop all of that other music that I'd already had, kind of lined up. But I will say this, I'm probably at the end point of dropping music probably for another 6 months to a year. Now, during that time, I will actually be working on getting ready to gig live, Good,
because, and let me just say this, just get ready for the demand. That's all I'm going to say.
I receive it. And, but here's the other thing that I wanted to do, and it was all strategy. I wanted to have so much music out there that when I eventually did start gigging live, people would be like, I didn't know that was his song, or, you know what I mean? Because I think that's a big thing, that people end up, because they may not have as much of a catalog, that they have to cover other artists' songs. And that's cool if you have to do that. But I never plan on covering anyone else's song. When you see me live, you're going to only hear my music because it's a lot of it,
I love it. Now, I personally love the power of live music. I love feeling the thump from the bass line. I love feeling all of that. So I'm looking forward to it. And when you play home around the DMV, I got to be front and center.
Oh, you already know. Come on. You already know that. I appreciate that. I just appreciate all of your support. I mean, it kind of just, for us, for me as an artist, as a producer, if it was only one person and if that was you, you make it all worth the while to go through every dude. I'm being real with you. You make it all worth the while to do what we do, because, people hear the finished product, but like I've shared with you and on quite a few occasions, hey, this is something I'm working on. And a lot of times when I share it with you, it's really at the very beginning of it. You know what I mean? Like, this is an idea, and then it kind of morphs, and then when we get to the final product, it's a lot of work that goes into it. But, you know, what you just shared is that's the payout.
And you know what? It's a beautiful thing, and I feel so honored to be a part of that whole creative process. Because not everybody get to have this seat I'm in. So I love it, and I appreciate you entrusting my ears.
Yeah. I mean, I'm obviously, listen, obviously, you know what you're doing. I mean, I have to respect that, and I'm sending it to you like, hey, hopefully she likes it, and you know, because I know that, you know, I know the bar that you have and the standard is high, so it means a lot to me, you know.
And can I honestly say that I have not heard anything from you that I didn't like?
I appreciate that. That means a lot to me. I really do. I've been very. I think for me as a producer, that's where I really excel. You know, I think I'm very clever in terms of making sure that music has to have all the elements. You know what I mean? There are certain elements that it has to have to make me feel a certain way. And I can totally detach myself from something that I'm working on. And if it doesn't make me feel the way that I wanted to make me feel, then it's like, no, it's not there. You know?
We're twinning there.
Yeah.
So,
yes.
So I'm listen, we're going to get on one of your songs. As a matter of fact, before we, what song what song you want the folks to hear today?
You know, I'll leave that up to you.
I mean, you can't do that because this would be a 5-hour show. what song what you want folks to hear? I mean, I need you as sexy, but you do it. You tell me what song.
You know what? So I am impartial right now to Heart Exam because Heart Exam is really so different from everything I think I've dropped so far.
Well, then Heart Exam it is.
Awesome.
Now, before we get the music on, you know I like to play games.
Yes.
Not with all of my guests, but you know, you and I, we kind of got history here.
Yes, we do. Yes.
So I want to do something different this time. I want to play the producer's game.
Okay.
3 questions, 3 seconds. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. So you're producing a song, but like you can only use 2 instruments. Which instruments is it going to be? Which 2?
Piano, upright bass.
Oh, okay. So, name one of your producer's pet peeve.
Not knowing the lyrics.
Okay, last and final. Which digital workstation do you prefer?
I use Studio One.
Okay. Ding, ding, ding. So, see, we got all into the producer's head, y'all. So, listen, if you want to work with Terrence, you make sure you know your lyrics, okay?
Absolutely. I just think you bring more emotion, more feeling to to whatever it is you're trying to deliver. Well, you know, the lyrics. I mean, I know people think it's kind of cool to kind of be standing at the mic with the lyrics on your phone. I mean, if you're a rapper, you know, you can do. Even if I was producing a rapper, I would still tell him, man, you should be able to close your eyes and really be able to pour everything into every word. So, yeah.
Nice. Well, Terrence, it's always good chatting it up with you. I want to thank you for hanging out with me today in the Artist Zone. Now, before you go, I'm going to need you to tell all the good folks out there how they can keep up with you and all this fabulous music that you're creating.
I appreciate that. You can follow me definitely on Spotify I have 2 artist profile under Terence Thompson as well as under Mr. Terence Thompson. And you can find me at Terence Thompson Music on Facebook, or you can visit my website at TerenceThompson.com. I appreciate all visits and all the support and feedback.
Wonderful. Drop some comments. And that's Terrence with 1 R, right?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
For saying that. Yes. It's commonly misspelled. Yes.
Yes. I had to say that because, you know, anyway. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Until next time, be well and keep making that good music.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Take care.
All righty.
Por favor, examina mi corazón. Es que necesito que me examines mi corazón.
Hey, this is your girl, Anissa Hargrove, and you are in the Smiley J Artist Zone.
I swear I have some super smart and talented guests. I just love what I do. I get to talk to really cool people and hear some really dope music. Yes, I love it. Well, folks, it's that time, and as always, it's been a lot of fun. Special thanks to today's guest, Mr. Terence Thompson. Be sure to check out all of his music. And check out some of his short videos too. You can find all of that on his social media pages. And to all of my independent artists out there, please be sure to be true to your artistry and present the best version of you as only you can do. And you guys know the rules around this place. You like what you heard today, you go ahead and download it and add the music to your playlist. Yes. Until next time, be well, stay safe, and remember to listen to good music. Your ears will thank you for it. I'm Smiley J, and I'm out.